And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster and I'm touching base with you as I do every day, except for Saturday and Sunday. Saturdays are special. We'll do something special on Saturdays, but not here on Touch Base Daily. It will be something else. Anyway, how are you all doing? I hope everyone is doing well on this wonderful Tip Tuesday. It is Tip Tuesday, and we are going to be diving into some photography tips as we always do on our Tip Tuesday. And we will be talking today about how to take pictures of spring flowers and cherry blossom trees. That's what we're going to be doing. And so we are here and we are live and we are doing well. Who just entered the building? I saw my little button go up and say, Someone's in the building. Someone's in the building. Omar is in the building. Oh, Omar, how is your hand? I hope you went to the doctor, sir. I hope you went to the doctors. Kimmy is in the building. How are you, Kimmy? Kimmy says hello. She says hello to the community. Miss G.R. Houston Jack is in the building. Kelly is in the building. Good morning. Good morning. Aya is in the building. Hi, Ron and RLP family. Everyone's popping in. Yes, it's a slow go. I guess it's, Instagram is getting the information out and also Touch Base Daily on YouTube. I don't know how that works, but do you get a signal on your phone? I think you do, because I get a signal when Gwendolyn goes live. I have a signal when Dr. Tachi goes live. Yeah, so yeah. Omar says, doing better. Swelling is down a bit. Okay, sir. A bit. Okay, so that means you probably didn't, at least it's getting better. At least it's getting better. Better is the key. So today is a beautiful day in New York. Literally not one cloud in the sky. Not one cloud in the sky. The weather's supposed to be in the 70s. Yesterday went to 82 degrees here in New York City. A little taste of early summer. It was beautiful. I got out and did my 4-mile walk. I did 4 miles 2 days in a row. I am so excited because I am on a campaign to get back where I was last year this time before I got greedy and started eating myself out of house and homes. I got to lose the weight. I gained so much weight. I cannot believe it. I'm back where I started. But I'm going to lose it. I am going to lose it, and not just lose it, but keep it off and just kind of restructure my life a little bit. I need to do that. I need to do that so that way I can be fit for what is to come. You never know. Maybe National Geographic or someone will say, Ron, we need you to photograph someplace in the jungles of such and such. I need to be fit and ready. So got to work out and get this stuff done. Got to take care of your body as well. Your body, your mind, and your spirit. All three must be maintained. So anyway, today is Tip Tuesday, and we're going to talk about how to take pictures of spring flowers and cherry blossom trees, because those are the things I love to do. It is that time of year. As a matter of fact, when I get off from here, I'm going to do a couple of emails for some clients, and then I am heading out to the Botanical Garden. But it will have to be near sunset. Yeah, because it can't be immediately after here. So I guess after work. We can say after work. But I do want to make sure it's after the high noon sun. You can't photograph. Oh, well, we'll talk about that. That's in the lesson. But also, Lisa's in the building. Lisa is in the building. Good morning. Look at all the love being sent Omar's way. People love you, Omar. People love you. Janet's in the building. She says, good morning, RLPTDB, TBD, family. Yes, folks are in the building. Yeah, it's one of those days. I got some work accomplished. I signed on some new clients and some invoices out yesterday. I felt really good doing it. I was like, yes. Clients, I could be busy every day and I would be happy. Happy business clients, good clients is a good thing. So I am happy about that. Let's see here. What else is going on in the world today? Well, first of all, let's do a couple of headlines before we get started. Obviously, you all know, and it's going to be in the news all day long, every single day for the next 2 weeks, really 6 weeks, they say. It is our, where's that? Where's my little headline there? I thought I had it. There we go. It's kind of like leading the way into Sleepy Trump in court yesterday. So the dude fell asleep in court yesterday. So that's going to make it so strange that the man that calls Sleepy Joe fell asleep at his own court hearing. So it is jury selection right now at the court here in New York City, where Trump is and required to be there every single day. And he's upset because he can't leave. Just like, hello, like everybody else, like every other person that has to sit through court, the jurors, the potential jurors, everybody has to sit in that court. He was like, I think I should have to go to my son's graduation. The judge said, hell no. Well, not exactly in those terms, but no, you are just like everyone else. You're a defendant and you must be in this court. And then he gave him the riot act and said, look, if you are not in this court, you could be jailed. How I know that's a horrible. I'm going to say something horrible, but how nice would that be? I mean, really, we're so tired of this guy. Oh my gosh, Sleepy Joe, Sleepy. I mean, the man called Sleepy Joe, and he's the one sleeping in court. Couldn't keep his head up. Huh. Anyways, hey, Anthony's in the building. Good morning, Anthony. Anthony is in the building. So good to see you guys in the building. Let me see who's, you know what? Let me just see who's over in the Instagram world. I see there's one person straggling in the Instagram world. Come on over to Touch Base Daily on YouTube. Just go go on YouTube and click on Touch Base Daily. Just type it in and we'll come up and you'll see that we are live. Join us, or you can go to our stories and click on stories, and the link there will take you straight to this live straight here. Okay, so if you are Instagram, come on over to YouTube. That's where you get a better experience. Touch Base Daily. We're going to be teaching and talking tips on photography today. That's what we're doing. You'll get a better experience on YouTube. Okay, what's the other headline going on today? Other headlines. Oh, there is something I want you guys, before I lose this. Please, if you haven't had a chance, put it in your, just kind of write it down, put it somewhere, photograph the screen, whatever you want to do. But make sure you see Roland Martin's Unfiltered. He has, I think it was 2 days ago. I think it was Sunday. It may have been Sunday. But his efforts to eliminate DEI programs are rooted in racism. He does a really good job interviewing several folks. They really dive into what's happening around the country. They break it down to all the levels and organization, how organized this attempt is to do away with anything that is promoting people of color, period, across this country. And it is real. It is organized. It is well financed. So definitely look at this one. Roland Martin Unfiltered: Efforts to Eliminate DEI Programs Are Rooted in Racism. It is a excellent YouTube video. Just go there when you have a chance. It really looks good. Hey, Sunny Boy's in the building. Good morning, he says. Good morning, chat. Good morning to everyone. Yes. Hey, Dr. Tachi's in the building also. Our executor of Indie Suit Media is in the building. For those that also know that if you do miss this, you can catch the replay here, obviously, but you can also catch the replay at a designated time, here on your own free time. But you can catch us on Indie Soup Media at 4 o'clock today. 4 o'clock. So you can catch the repeat if you happen to miss this. Or you're on Instagram and you can't get to a YouTube channel and you can't get the real good visuals because YouTube is a better place to be. And I see Miss G is saying hello to everybody in there. Okay, there is one more. I think there's a couple more headlines I wanted to get to you before we get into class. Okay, let's go to the next one. Oh, okay, let's see here. I see. Here we go. And one other, just keep an eye on this. Israel weighs response after Iran's precedented attack. So the Middle East crisis will continue. It is going to continue, and we'll just have to keep our eyes on that. And for all the interesting people that are complaining about oil prices and all that stuff, guess what? When we don't take care of our business as leaders around the country and around the world, it will impact us in our wallets. So yeah, if there's unrest in the Middle East, guess what? Oil prices go up and everything else does too. So guys, keep an ear on this, keep an eye on this. I would say, and if you want to, in some cases, if you can afford it, you might want to buy some of the things that are necessary for you that you use all the time, but you don't want to see the price go up. So keep an eye on what's going on in the Middle East. It is important. It will affect us and our wallets. Hopefully, it doesn't affect us any other way. We want to make sure we do that. Also, this is a scary little thought here. Supreme Court hears arguments over obstruction law used against January 6 rioters. So the Supreme Court is going to look at that. And if they say, you know what, this is unconstitutional, no, you shouldn't do it. That means all those people that have been arrested for January 6th could be released. How about that? How about that? And also Trump's case will be dismissed. How about that? So this is a big case before the Supreme Court. Here's the arguments over this obstruction law. Is there no winning? I mean, can the justice system hold up to all this craziness? Can it? Hey, Rashawn is in the building. I see Rashawn is in the building. Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay. Is there any more? Did I get all of them? You said I get all of them? Yes, I did. Okay. Are y'all guys ready to start some lessons? Are you guys ready to learn? Are you ready to learn some tips? Are you ready to learn how to photograph some beautiful flowers? It is springtime. It is springtime. And guess what, y'all? It is taking your camera out time to go out and take pictures of all of spring's beauty. Spring's beauty. I'm trying to get to this little banner here to take it off the screen. Here we go. I'm taking that off. Okay, good. But this is my favorite time of the year. For also, I do believe that if you live in New York or if you're coming to New York City, you can also take some time to go up to the New York Botanical Garden. I do believe the orchid show is still happening. I don't know when it ends, but it's usually the end of April that it ends, but we'll see. We're getting there to the end of April, but the orchid show is at the New York Botanical Garden. It is so beautiful. I love that kind of stuff. I'm hoping to go up there this week, hopefully tomorrow. I'll do that as well. Try to get to the Bronx and or maybe early Saturday morning. We'll see. I don't have anything scheduled for Saturday, so that is good. No client projects this Saturday, so I might end up at the Botanical Garden. Looking at the schedule here. But yeah, if you're in New York City, go up to the Botanical Garden. I am going to the Brooklyn one today. So we have Brooklyn Botanical Garden, which is delightful. And we also have the New York City Botanical Garden. Check those places out. Hey, Bryson's in the building. Bryson says, good morning. Good morning. What's up? He says. Yes. And Charlene is in the building as well. Class is ready. I think we're ready to start, y'all. I think we're ready to start. Nice. Here we go. Well, like I said, it's all about how to take pictures of spring flowers and cherry blossom trees. Now, some folks get cherry blossom trees mixed up with apple blossom trees. A lot of times when you see the white flowers growing like cherry blossoms on a tree, those are usually the apple blossom trees. But there are some white cherry blossoms, but most cherry blossoms are pink. But if you have a white blossom tree that looks like a cherry blossom, it could be an apple blossom tree. What I love about Clinton Hill, oh, thank you, Janet. Thank you, Janet. Janet says that the New York Garden Orchid Show is through the 22nd. I got to make my way there. Thank you. Thank you. Ah, you know what? Also, let me take off this banner. Let me take off this banner so you'll be able to see it better. There we go. And now I think we're ready. I think we're ready. I think we are ready. And if you have a question, please put a Q and then your question. So that way I can take note of it and save it so that we can discuss your question as we do this lesson or the Tip Tuesday, how to take pictures of spring flowers and cherry blossoms. Here we go. Capturing the beauty of spring flowers and cherry blossoms can be a delightful experience. Here are some quick tips for beginners to get the best shots. Guys, get your cameras ready. And this is going to be a mix also between you folks that have these little big these kind of cameras, right? You got these cameras, right? The big cameras here. Or you might have a smartphone. So you'll be able to use these tips for both. You'll be able to use these tips for both. Okay. Timing is everything. Like you said, like I almost got this out of the bag when I was going to speak to you about it, but I said, hey, timing is everything. Aim for the early morning or late afternoon light for the softest and most flattering illumination. Cherry blossoms have a short blooming period, so let me just stop there, right, with the aim for early morning or late afternoon light, because that's when you got those beautiful hues in the light, especially in the spring, because the sun is not totally up. We still got some low sun. So if you want to, you always try to get to the botanical garden early as possible, like when they open the earliest, or get to wherever, or take flowers in your park. I mean, anywhere in the city or anywhere in the country, you can do the aim. You can go early in the morning, but also another time to go is in the evenings. A lot of our botanical gardens have late nights. So you can go in, especially now that the sun is going down later, you can go in around 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Omar's acting. Omar says Ron Foster is the NPR host for photographers. You're hilarious, sir. You are hilarious. But yeah, you want to go you don't want to go in the middle of the day. Why? Because the sun is up in the sky and the sun creates shadows. The sun creates shadows. Now, if it's a cloudy day or a cloud covered day, then you can go any time of the day. You can go any time of the day because you don't have shadows. But if the sun is out, go early in the morning or go near the evening. Okay. Cherry blossoms have a short blooming period, so keep an eye on local bloom forecasts to catch them at their peak. Yes, this is cherry blossom season. I think Washington, D.C., their blossoms are pretty much, I think, over. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. New York City is now, the blossoms are everywhere. They're everywhere. The cherry blossoms are blossoming everywhere. My neighbor has a tree across on his terrace. Well, on their terrace. And I said, oh, it's time to go to the botanical garden. Every time I see their tree blossom, I know it's time to go to the botanical gardens. but they don't live that long, and you want to get them before storms come in. April is rain season for most of us. It's still spring. We're in transition. So you want to get those blossoms before the wind blows them off. Next, composition and perspective. Use the rule of thirds to create a balanced composition. Y'all know what that is, because if you are in this audience, we've talked about the rule of thirds. We've talked about also, speaking of the rule of thirds, you need to put, if you haven't already, we've had this conversation in this community, turn on the grid. Turn on the grid on your camera. Turn on the grid setting on your smartphone, because then you can see the rule of thirds right there on the grid. The grid is the rule of thirds. Now, we're not going to go into that because that's another story in itself. But definitely think about the rule of thirds. It is the basic of compositions. It's the first one we all learn. So if you don't know it, look it up. But most of the people in this community know it because Ron talks about it a lot. Okay, next, try different angles like shooting low. You know how we roll here, guys. Shooting low to the ground to capture flowers against the sky or from above to get a carpet of blooms. Yeah, that's what you got to get low. You got to get low. Also, it makes you feel like you're a part of the flowers. It makes the viewers feel like they're part of the flowers. Like you're in their world. Get low. Dive into the flowers. Here's another one. Here's one for the professionals in the room. But if you have a smartphone, you can use these settings too, because if you put your smartphone on professional mode, you will be able to use these settings. Or if you have a download, you can download what's called a Lightroom camera. A Lightroom camera from Adobe. There's an app for that. You can also do these settings professionally with your smartphone. Okay, so how you do that? Set a low ISO, 100 to 200, to avoid grainy photos. That's to keep it nice and sharp. Number 2, choose a wide aperture like 1.8 to f4 for a shallow depth of field and a blurred background. You know how you see that nice blur background? Like you see here, you see in this little corner there, like you see in the corner, you see those droplets on those leaves here on this flower in this demonstration. Speaking of droplets, can I give you another photographer's secret or a secret tip? You're like, if it's a sunny day, if it's a beautiful day out, how do I get droplets? Most photographers, when we go to the botanical garden or we go out to take pictures of flowers, we bring small little spray bottles. Fill it, get a little spray bottle, a little spritzer, get a little spritzer, right? Get a little spritzer, put some water in it, and you can take that and spray the plants, the flowers, the petals, and you get these beautiful droplets. So you can look really professional when you photograph your flowers, because the droplets give your flowers more dynamics, gives you more dimension. Just a little side note there. That's just giving you a little side note. Go out. It doesn't have to be a big bottle. A little spritzer, like the eyeglass spray bottles. Once it's empty of that liquid, the little alcohol, liquid, save that bottle and just put water in it and spray. Okay. Also, or a narrow aperture, which is f11 or higher, if you want more of the scene in focus. That means you want everything in scene, right? You want everything in scene. So then you add that. You go from f11 to or higher. And then it says use a fast shutter speed 1/125 or higher to freeze any movement, especially on windy days. Now, I always have my shutter speed about 250 or 325. The reason why is because most of the time there's a breeze out there. And most of the time, the plants are moving back and forth with the wind, or they're just moving slightly because there's a breeze. If you have a low shutter speed, your flowers are going to look blurred. So you need a fast shutter speed to capture it while it's moving. Adrian says adding water is like adding seasoning to food. Yes. But yeah, use a fast shutter speed. I preferably use 250 or more. 250, 320, but 125 or higher, it says. Okay, next. Focus on the details. Use a macro lens to capture intricate details of individual blossoms. Experiment with, let me stop there. So, some of us have these large lens and we use, let me put that in there, like large lenses here, and you can get zoom lenses or you can get macro lenses. And when you see macro lenses, when you see pictures of bugs, like bugs, and you see all of the graining, I should not the grain, but the lines, the veins of flowers and plants, people are using macro lenses because they love the small things in the world. They photograph the bugs, the bees, little guys, the little things. So if you like flowers, invest in a macro lens. Now, on your smartphone, you do have 3 lenses for most of us that have current phones, and you can zoom in. But beware, you can only zoom but so close. It's not a macro lens. So you can zoom in, but you can only get but so close. Okay. And next, experiment with manual focuses for precision, especially in close-up shots. There we go. Experiment with them. And it's a give and take. Next, lighting and exposure. Overcast days can provide even lighting and enhance colors. We just talked about that. Be mindful of exposure. Slightly exposing can retain details in the petals. Right? You don't want your exposure to be so high that everything is so bright. It is better to underexpose than to overexpose. What do you mean by that, right? When you let more light into the camera and you see that the image is bright, and sometimes you lose the details on the brightest parts of that picture that you're trying to capture. So the best thing to do is underexpose, go a little darker, and you can always bring it up in post-processing. Because if you go too high and the exposure is and the little edges are too white and too light, you can't adjust it in your post-processing because you lose the information. So again, another reason to underexpose versus overexposing. Kimmy says, on my cell phone, I like to take the picture of the flowers, then use my edit features to crop, which then zooms in to find a good final pick. Ooh, Kimmy Kim, let me put that on there. I mean, we're going to go there, but this is a good idea. I always say, folks, this is just my rule of thumb. I read it and it works. Don't use the zoom where you're pinching in and out. The pictures are never clear and beautiful. Just either get close or get away from it. Keep it at regular, your regular zoom, or your first is like the zoom or the normal, or you're wide, but don't pinch in or pinch out by zooming in and zooming out. You lose clarity by doing so. Take a picture in the setting of the first setting on wide, first setting of normal, first setting of zoom, and just adjust the phone. Take the picture at full clarity, and just like Kimmy Kim says, then you can go in and crop, and you'll still have your clarity, integrity. You'll still have the integrity of the photo. Thank you, Kimmy Kim. We were always taught. Oh, here's another thought. Here's Dr. Tachi from Film World. Yes, we were always taught in film it's better to underexpose or pull our footage by 1 or 2 stops if we thought it would develop too bright. There we go. That's another expert in the building from a film perspective. That's right. So it's better to underexpose than to overexpose. Post-processing, which I was just talking about. Enhance colors and details using photo editing software. Like, I'm always talking to you guys. If you have your smartphones, use Snapseed. It's free. Snapseed is free. You can also use Adobe Photoshop or Lightroom. Those are all great editing tools. When we say post-processing, we mean editing. Post-processing means what the editing that you do after you photograph the image. Post-processing is editing. And yes, there are lots of other ones. However, these are my favorites. Snapseed, Adobe Photoshop, and Lightroom. You can't go wrong with these three. And Snapseed does so much for free, which is amazing to me. I love it. I love it. Here's a good question since we're there. Janet says, do you lose detail if you're using RAW in overexposure? Yes. You should never overexpose. Even in RAW, you will lose that information. So it is better to underexpose, even in RAW. And also, speaking of RAW images, because most of us photographers shoot in RAW. That's the setting in your camera. You can also set it in your smartphone to RAW. That means you get all of your information in the picture when you photograph it. Think of it as sliders to a soundboard. You get all the tracks. But when you shoot in RAW, you lose color details. So you lose the color. It looks a little muted, just slightly, not a lot, but it looks a little muted. And so you go back and do editing, and you bring back the colors by sliding up your vibrance, sliding up your color in your post processing. Okay. Thank you, Janet. That was a good question. Good question. Next, respect the environment. Oh, please, people, respect the environment. Remember that cherry blossoms are significant culturally. Treat the locations and subjects with respect. Don't go in the botanical garden and try to climb a cherry blossom tree. I don't know one in this community would do such a thing. But for those that are looking at this video that are not in this community, but you will be at some point, or you are interested in learning this stuff, do not go to the botanical gardens and climb the trees and try to get a close-up shot of some strange angle that you're trying to get. Respect the trees in the botanical gardens. Also, be careful. You don't want to get hurt, so don't climb. Use your tools. Use a zoom lens. Use your zoom lens to zero in, to zoom in to areas that are far from you. Okay? So remember, Remember to treat the trees with respect. Next, practice and patience. Two P's you should know. Photography is a skill gained over time. So take lots of pictures and don't be afraid to experiment. Yes, don't be afraid to experiment. It's okay. You got a digital, most of us have digital cameras. Now, if you're using film, you can't experiment as much, but you still can experiment. But because we live in the digital age, you have smartphones, you have cameras, mirrorless, DSLRs. You can take as many photos as you like and delete them in time. You're like, I don't like that one. Delete. I don't like this one. Delete. Let's try it again. Let's try it from another angle. Let's try it from above. Let's try it from below. But the key to photography, and this is all photography, it doesn't matter what type of photography, it requires practice and patience. One of my students, I have her, she has homework. I'm hoping that tomorrow she has her homework ready. She has homework. When I teach my students, and if you're interested in that, let me know. I can always set you up. I teach virtually, which makes it easy. I can teach you from anywhere around the world. But be patient. Be patient with yourself and be patient with the subject. Right? One of the things I learned in wildlife photography is when you go out to safari, you have to be patient. Most of the time, it's just a lot of waiting. You're in the Jeep, or in some places, the Range Rover, and you're just hanging out until you get the animal to be in the right position, in the right light to photograph it. Patience is required in all, even in street photography. Be patient. Let the photo come to you sometimes. Don't try to run after the photo. Let the photo, be patient. So let the photo come to you. Hang out. Be okay with hanging out. Okay, there we go. So practice, 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 and be patient. Next, for more hands-on learning, consider joining a photography workshop. Joining a photography workshop, meetups groups, like myself, I do a meetup group. I have a meetup group, but there's lots of them in New York City, and there may be some near you. A meetup group, photography meetup groups, and obviously tutoring. There are many available, especially during the spring season. Yes, they are all out. Last weekend, everybody was there was some canceled. I was supposed to hang out with another meetup group. Yes, I do hang out with other meetup groups. But yes, last week we had a stormy weekend. We had a stormy Saturday, so all those meetup groups got canceled. But yeah, but join a meetup group. Join a photographer's meetup group. You'll be with other people. You'll connect, have fun. Join a meetup group. It's free for most of them, or they have an annual fee. Some charge, but most don't. Join a meetup group in your neighborhood or in your city, in your town, not far from you. You can find them in your area by searching online or checking local photography schools and communities. Like I said, you can go to the Meetup app and you can just put in flower seekers, photographers for spring, photographers, photographing flowers, flower photography. It's out there. Just Google it. Use your tools. Use the Google machine. But get in the community. Omar has a community of models that comes out he has his meetup groups for models. And he has folks come out. I have my meetup group for street photography. You get you get it, right? Join a meetup group. You will find friendships and you will grow as a photographer. Here's Janet saying, in wildlife photography, you can't climb the tree and rearrange the subject. No, you cannot, Janet. Okay, next. And on that note, happy shooting and enjoy the beauty of spring. Any questions? It's Q&A time. Any questions? This is your time to ask any ask any questions about this topic. Did you learn anything? Did you learn anything? Okay. I hope you learned something today. It's always my intention that you leave smarter than you arrived. Yeah. Any questions? Any questions on photography, taking pictures of flowers? Um, Dr. Tachi says this was great. This was great. Cool beans. Cool beans. Any other? Any questions? Janet was the only one with a question? Get out of here. I know. I know some of you guys have questions because I still have questions and I do this all the time. I'm always trying to learn new things about photography. Um, what's another? Since you don't have any questions, you can't spur me on to giving you a question. So, um, again, you want to be out early in the day or in the evening. Some takeaways. Number two, if you want to get those beautiful droplets on your photos, like droplets on the petals of your flowers, make sure you bring a spritzer, a little spritzing bottle, little little spritz here and there will give you those beautiful photos that you see in magazines. And that's it. I think this is going to be a short one. Hey, Jamel's in the building. Jamel Shabazz, Mr. Jamel Shabazz is in the building. He says, good teaching, Ron. Thank you, Jamel. Jamel Shabazz. Uh, he is the man. We love him. Yeah, no questions. Wow, this is a first. I thought you guys would have lots of questions about this. Any questions about editing? No? No? First of all, how many of you go out and photograph flowers? I'm curious. How many of you do that? How many of you love to go out and do flowers? Like I got plants behind me. I photograph my plants. They're great subjects. But how many of you go? How many of you go? Let me see what's going on Instagram since YouTubers they're not participating today. Now there's a good question. Should the sun be in front, side, or behind you? Depends. Now, let's go there. Let's go there. That's a good question. It is good to have the sun from behind you, right? Get the sun behind you or behind the subject. So, if you're on the ground and you want to take the pictures of the flowers, if the sun is out, you want to get in front of your subject and take the picture, and then you get those beautiful highlights of the sun behind it. So it's just like when you take pictures of people. The sun should be behind the person, right? The sun should be behind the subject. And then you have some way of lighting it up. Like you can use like a little cloth, and you can use it acts like a reflector. You just get a little cardboard or something that is white, and you can just use a little board or something like that and get it behind, so say in front of the flower, and then take the picture because the sun is going to reflect off the white paper onto the flower. And then that way you get all that beautiful color because it's not bleached out by the sun. Nice question. Sun in front. Also, some people like to have, like if you see some of these like these beautiful photos of beds of flowers in the field, like sunflowers, and you want that beautiful glow of light coming from the sun. then you might want to photograph with the sun on the side, right? So that way you can get those beautiful beams of light coming down. But beware, if you are going to take pictures of your flowers, you want to, it's good to have a little reflection. But if you're doing a field, you don't, yeah, and you want that, just also make sure that you bring down, make sure your f-stop is high enough so that way you get all that nice clarity. Or if you want to create a mysterious field, you bring down that f-stop and then bring up your speed. But make sure you don't overexpose. Omar said, it's been a while since I intentionally photographed flowers. See, there's experts in the room that don't do this all the time. See, look at that. Look at that. It's, I find, at least for me, it's therapeutic. As much as I love street photography, and I love being on the streets, I love photographing people, and I love photographing as in my career as an event photographer. I love flowers. I love the colors and I love also catching the insects interacting with the flowers. I like photographing the bees and the wasps and all of the little critters that are flying around the flowers. I like that kind of stuff. I like diving into that little world. Yeah. In my head, the song goes, "It's a small world after all." I like to be there. Anthony says, most of the time, wildflowers in Texas are never anywhere safe where you can park your car or walk. Really? Oh, boo to Texas. Boo to Texas. Hey, speaking of a beautiful place, California right now, I do believe the golden flowers are out. Those, I forgot what they call them. But right now, if you go to the hills of, I think, San Francisco, there's a reason why the California is called the Golden State. Most people think it's because of gold. Not. It's because in spring, when the California gets rain and is not in a drought state, all of the hills turn gold with I think they're called poppy plants, the poppy flowers. But all the fields turn gold with the gold and pinks and yeah. So the reason why California is the Golden State is not because of the gold nuggets, even though that's happened there before. It's because of the golden hills and the mountainsides of the golden flowers that bloom in the spring in California. So if you're in California, this is a good time to get out. I see. Omar says in Texas, the blue bonnet season is here in Texas. Okay, you Texans, get out there. See. Oh, Andrew says that really was good, and opposite of what I thought. That's right. You don't want the sun on the plants or the flowers because it bleaches them out. Yeah, I mean that's why we try to get that sun as low in the sky as possible, so the sun is at an angle. Everyone's talking about the ICG is talking about Lord, the blessed blue bonnets. Rambo from India, our brother from India is in the building, northern India. Rambo says, I love silhouettes and also sunlight coming through leaves or the sparkle reflecting in water. Yeah. Sometimes it's good to have. Again, that's why it's not, there's no rule, there's no yes and no to these questions. There are strategies that can be practiced to some of these questions, especially regarding the sunlight. But in most cases, you do want to photograph in the mornings and in the evenings. Catch those golden hours. The golden hour is one of the best times to catch some really beautiful, unique flower pictures. Okay, any other questions? Thank you for those questions. I like questions. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. I'm here to give to you questions. Okay, so we got 12:05. We got about 5 minutes left. 5 minutes. And let's see what's going on in the Instagram world. Okay, it looks like everybody's over here from Instagram. Okay, cool. We're doing good. Everyone knows to come straight here from Instagram. That's just great. And Paro's in the building. Best time. Yes, she says the best time to take pictures is the golden hour for flowers. Yeah, flowers. If you're in New York City, we have what's called the Tulip Festival on the west side of Manhattan. I'll be going there, I do believe, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. So there we go. I forgot. Tomorrow I'm doing the tulips tomorrow and on the west side. And then Saturday I'll be at the Botanical Garden. There we go. There's my calendar. I got my calendar all straightened out. I forgot that I was going there tomorrow. But yeah, I go early in the morning though. So let's try to get there early in the morning tomorrow on the west side. Okay, I think that's it. I think we're good. I think we're good. Look at everyone. Rambo. Everyone's giving some love to Rambo. Okay, guys. So let me give you some announcements, and then we're out of here. Hold on a second. Well, first of all, let me tell you. Can I do a little bit of promotion for myself here? Um, if you're interested in photography, you can sign up. Just go to my website. I do virtual basic photography 101 classes, and you can sign up. We do some tutoring. We go at your pace. We take our time. We go first. We do nomenclatures of your camera, what camera you're working with. Then we start talking about the settings. Then we start talking about f-stops. Then we go into speed and shutter speed, and then later on we move into composition. If you want some lessons in photography, reach out to me. I love one-on-one. People say, Ron, why don't you just do workshops and have like 20 people in the workshop? I like one-on-one. I like interacting with people. It is great to work with my students because I get to see them get excited about their projects. Because you will have homework every lesson. Every time we're together, you will leave with homework. So make sure if you're interested in that, reach out to me. You can DM me. You can go to the website. You can connect with me either way. Okay, so that was a self plug, a little self plug there. And Gary says, "I see you, I see you." And so cool beans. Waiting for one more tulip wallpaper like in. Yeah, Rambo does a lot of wallpaper stuff. So check out Rambo's page on Instagram. He does a lot of flowers and scenery and outdoors photos. Really cool stuff. Okay. And what other announcements do we have in here? Some more announcements. Announcements coming up. Also, next weekend, not this weekend coming, next weekend coming up, we have our April's RLP Urban Photographers Meetup. We will be in Soho. We are doing street photography, the street photography hop. So that's Saturday, April 27th from 2 to 4 p.m. Come on out. If you're interested, go to our meetup. Go to RLP Urban Photographers Meetup on the Meetup app, and then you will be able to sign up to our meetup group. Okay, make sure you do that. And what else? There's another announcement here. And just so you guys know, on Thursday, our Basic Photography 101 class is canceled for the Patreon community. And speaking of Patreon, if you're interested in supporting me as a creative, click on the Patreon. Click on Patreon, and you can check that out as well on my website or right here on YouTube. On YouTube, there's a bunch of links at the bottom. Just click on Patreon and join and support. Support this brother as I bring content to this community and to folks that are outside that want to join this community or just give information out. Okay. Great. I think we're good. And again, if you want to see this repeat, make sure you tune into Indie Soup. And congratulations to Indie Soup Media. They are up to now 2.2, I think it is now. Could it be to 2.2 today? It could be more. 2.2K subscribers. Look, just 2 weeks ago, it was 48. Now it's 2.2K. That's 2,000, more than 2,000 subscribers on Indie Soup. I mean, we got to give Dr. Tachi a hand, show some love. Yes. So pop into Indie Soup Media. It is where all of us, Chris and Gwendolyn and a couple of other, some other of us, some folks that we have our own programs are on repeat or just have shows that are fresh off the press. Check it out. Okay, I think we're good. I think it's time to get out of here. And guys, thank you so much for joining me on this Touch Base Daily. Yes, I see. She goes, yes, sir, Tachi. Yeah. It's week 4. That's right. It's week 4 of Indie Soup. There we go. Sending some love. I see the love. I see the love. And if you enjoyed this, please hit the subscribe button. If you've never been here before, hit subscribe and also hit the like. Hit the like button. Okay, guys, I think that's it. We are out of here. Have a great. Oh, what was I getting ready to do here? Let me. Here we. I'm on the wrong button here. I almost cut myself off here. Omar says, "Have a great day, everyone." Anthony is sending some signs there, some peace signs, some emojis. Okay, guys, I am out of here. Thank you for joining me on this Touch Base Daily, and I hope you learned something today. Later.